Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. After taking a break for the holiday season, all NCAC winter sports are now back in action across the conference. We'll open this week's show by taking our first look at indoor track and field action from around the NCAC. Oberlin jump-started its season with its own Dan Kinsey Invitational last week, while Wittenberg was also in action at the Capital Challenge. On the men's side, 3 athletes were recognized for their efforts through the opening meets of the season. Wabash junior Kevin McCarthy earned the first NCAC Men's Distance Athlete of the Week award after he set a school record in the mile event at the Indiana University Invitational in December with a time of 4:05:58. The men's sprint hurdle weekly honor went to Oberlin's Jerry Choi, who clocked in at 8.92 seconds in the 60-meter hurdles and 7.46 seconds in the 60-meter dash at the Kinsey Invitational. The final men's weekly award for field events went to Wittenberg senior Justin Cox, who won the pole vault event at the Capital Challenge after clearing 4.41 meters. The women's weekly awards were highlighted by a pair of Oberlin athletes. OC junior Erica Long took home the Distance Athlete of the Week honor after she placed second in the 1,000 meters at the Kinsey Invitational with a time of 3:16:51, while Yo Women senior Courtney Cano garnered the Field Events Award after she won the shot put with a career best toss of 10.83 meters. The final women's award for sprint and hurdle events went to Wittenberg's Shelby Cahoe after she won the 60-meter hurdles at the Capital Challenge in her first ever collegiate race. She crossed the finish line in 9.57 seconds. In other track and field news, Wabash entered the season ranked 8th in the preseason USTF CCCA coaches rankings. Also of note in the coming week, Worcester will unveil its brand new $30 million Scott Center on Friday night with a dual meet against Oberlin. We'll now turn our attention to the pool, where numerous NCAC squads returned to action last week. On the men's side, Ohio Wesleyan went a perfect 3-0 in dual meets, defeating Baldwin Wallace, Defiance, and Worcester. OU sophomore Taylor Smith won the 200 free against BW, and then won both the 50 and 500 and 1000 freestyle events in a double duel with Worcester and Defiance on Saturday. Worcester junior Peter Parisi had a stellar individual week as he won 5 events over a 2-day span. He captured both the 50-meter and 100-meter freestyles in a victory over Hiram on Friday, and came back with 3 first-place finishes in a double duel against Defiance and Ohio Wesleyan on Saturday. Parisi was named the NCAC's Men's Athlete of the Week for his efforts. DePaul, which is ranked 13th in the nation, placed second of 7 teams at the WashU Invitational, finishing just 15.5 points behind champion Lindenwood. On the women's side, DePaul placed third of 7 teams at the WashU Invite, led by senior Katie Baker, who won 3 individual events at the meet, including the 100 breast, 200 breast, and 400 IM. Baker earned NCAC Women's Athlete of the Week laurels for her performance. The Allegheny woman took on conference foe Oberlin and posted a 181-111 victory over the Yo woman on Saturday. The Gators were led by Joanna Wikoska, who posted personal best times in both the 50 and 100 free, touching the wall in 25:90 and 56:22 respectively. Worcester posted a perfect 3-0 mark last week, defeating Hiram on Friday and both Ohio Wesleyan and Defiance in a double duel on Saturday. Numerous NCAC squads returned to action this week with dual meets on the schedule, while Ohio Wesleyan will host the OU Invitational on Saturday at the Meek Center in Delaware. We'll close out this week's show by breaking down some of the conference basketball action from last week. On the men's side, Wittenberg maintained its perfect 6-0 mark in league play with victories over Kenyon and Denison. From there, we have 6 other squads who are all within 3 games of the top spot in the league standings, including Wabash, Ohio Wesleyan, DePaul, Worcester, Hiram, and Denison. Wittenberg, winners of 10 of its last 11 games, was led last week by senior Clayton Black, who posted one of the best individual performances by a Tiger in nearly a decade, as well as the best regulation game performance in 25 years. Black poured in 35 points after shooting 11 of 15 from the field in Witt's 71-61 victory over Kenyon. It was the highest individual scoring output for a Tiger in nearly a decade, as Rod Emmons tallied 38 points in an overtime victory over Wabash in the 2002-03 season. And it was also the best regulation game performance since Steve Iannarino scored 40 against Denison in 1986. DePaul jumped into the NCAC race and onto the national radar last week by defeating a pair of nationally ranked NCAC squads with a 64-56 victory over number 14 Wabash and a 75-66 triumph over number 16 Worcester. It was the first time since the 2002 NCAA tournament that a DPU squad knocked off nationally ranked teams in consecutive games. DPU senior Sean Hastley was named the NCAC Men's Basketball Player of the Week after scoring 29 points and shooting 60% from the field, 70% from beyond the arc, and a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line. On the week, he scored 21 of his 29 points and drilled 5 of his 7 3-point buckets in the second halves of the victories. Additionally, he added 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals on the week. Also of note last week was a thrilling game between Oberlin and Allegheny that came down to the final seconds when OC's Danny Enright hit a layup with 2 seconds left on the clock to give the Yeomen a 63-62 league victory. In the first half of that game, Oberlin senior Josh Merritt became the 20th player in school history to surpass 1,000 career points with a 12-point performance. After tallying 2 more points in a loss against Wabash on Saturday, Merritt now sits at 1,008 career points. Once again, there are 5 NCAC games on the slate for both Wednesday and Saturday this week. Wednesday features a battle for first place, with Wittenberg hosting Wabash, while Saturday's marquee matchup features Ohio Wesleyan traveling to Worcester. On the women's side, DePaul remains the only undefeated team in the league at 6-0 after collecting wins against Worcester and Kenyon last week. At 6-1 in league play, Allegheny kept pace with DePaul after defeating both Oberlin and Ohio Wesleyan. Junior Heidi Geller posted her 7th double-double of the season against Oberlin with 19 points and 12 rebounds, and then netted her 4th 20-plus scoring output of the season against OU with 24 points. Wittenberg got back over 500 in the NCAC at 3-2 after the Tigers upset Denison on Saturday, 59-57. The Tigers out-rebounded the Big Red 35-32, and hit 17 of 20 free throw attempts to secure the victory. Witt senior Sarah Watson earned NCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week laurels after she led the Tigers in scoring for the 5th time this season with 14 points. She shot 46% from the field and a perfect 4 of 4 from the charity stripe to go along with a team-high 8 rebounds. Watson also knocked down a pair of key free throws with 3:04 left in the contest that helped spark the Tigers' come-from-behind victory over DU. Worcester collected its first league win of the season last week over Hiram 59-52, led by senior Sarah Abbott, who posted the 2nd highest scoring output of her career with 14. 8 of her 14 points came in a crucial 13-0 run that turned a 39-36 Hiram lead into a 49-39 Worcester advantage. Women's squads also returned to action on both Wednesday and Saturday. Highlighting Wednesday contests will be Kenyon hosting Wittenberg in a battle of 2 lost NCAC squads, as well as Denison hosting first place DePaul. while Denison will also be tested on Saturday with a home contest against Allegheny. Fans, we once again thank you for tuning in for another episode of This Week in the NCAC, and we hope you tune in next week as we look forward to continually keeping you up to date on action from across the North Coast Athletic Conference. And as always, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings on your favorite NCAC squads, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org.